Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to GeekVerse Thought Bubbles. I'm Trav Snail, and thank you for looking at me and not looking away. Look away. Look away. Look away. Yeah, I know. Terrible tone. Got nothing. Song has been stuck in my head all week. Look away. I probably got sued just right there by Neil Patrick Harris and his producing team. As you've guessed by the title or my terrible singing, I'm reviewing season 1 of an unfortunate series of unfortunate events. I'll give like literally synopsis of non-spoilers, then I'm gonna get into spoilers. Not major spoilers, I'm not gonna be this, but like to talk about some episodes are getting a little spoilery. I guess to set the stage, I had not seen the movie until after this. I had seen bits and pieces of the movie because my sister would watch it. I'd seen like here and there, never read the books. Only reason, honestly, that I was tuning in this, I guess two things. The trailer looked good. I like kind of, quirky things, kind of what this looked like, this genre, I like if it's done well, and luckily it is done well. Spoiler for my, my review. And Neil Patrick Harris. I like Neil Patrick Harris a lot. I don't watch How I Met Your Mother. I just like him. I loved him in Gone Girl. He needs to be the fucking Riddler. He's a very talented guy. He's a guy that I don't want hosting NBC game shows. He needs to be in a bunch of movies, TV shows. I think there's other things I've seen him in over the years too. He's very talented, whether it's drama, whether it's comedy, whether it's musicals. He's kind of like that utility tool kind of guy that can do it all. So when I heard he was cast, I'm like, perfect fit for what I had seen. I had seen maybe, let's say like 50% of the movie, but like in different slices, but I'm like, he would fit that. So my non-spoiler review, I like it a lot. This to me is like Tim Burton in his prime versus meets like the Addams Family movie, crushed together. Has great sense of humor, has fun. The world is great. Like the world building and the world setting is phenomenal. Very cool, satire, dry, very fourth wall breaking type of humor. Cast is good all around. Lots of great appearances. Yeah, watch this if you haven't watched it. It's really good. Yeah, there's not too much I want to say more non-spoiler because I think you should go yeah. Yeah, there's not too much I want to say. Go watch it. It's fun. That's all I can recommend. If you don't like if you don't like Adam Sandler, if you don't like Tim Burton, if you don't like one of those things or both of those things, this is not for you. If you've seen the movie and you didn't really like the tone of that, this is not for you. I watched the movie after this because I wanted to compare it. This is much better than the movie. So if you're a fan of the books and you're on the edge, which I doubt it, you probably are rushed, but if you are because you didn't like the movie, I think this would do you justice. If you like the movie, I think you'll like this even more because when I saw the movie, I'm like, man, they rushed through a lot of fucking shit. And like, I'm glad I saw the TV show first because I like that a lot more because I'm a person that like, if they announced that Avengers Infinity War was going to be a 30-hour, like a 30 episode thing, I'd be like, yes. Like, I like things as long as possible, as long as it does the story right. Like that thing where we talk about like Jessica Jones or Luke Cage being a little long. And that's what this perfect 8 episodes. So I'm for as long as possible, long storytelling, as long as it's good. The thing I really liked is I caught on after the first episode. I'm gonna get into minor spoilers, so you could actually listen along if you've not seen the show. I'm not gonna get into big plot points, so I'll actually take that back. I'm not gonna get into too many spoilers. If there's a big one, I'll kind of wave or I'll hint around it, but I'm not gonna get into too much. Let's see. So what I did, that's where I was going. What I liked is I love that they are taking the individual books and doing a part 1 and a part 2. I really like that. I like that you're kind of getting a 2-hour, 50-minute movie or like whatever episodes. You get pretty much you just get a movie for each episode. You get 2-hour long episodes. I think they're like 50 minutes. It's very bingeable. I did this all on a weekend. I would have loved to watch it all together, but football playoffs, so in the WUK tournament, which was great if you're a wrestling fan. Love Pete Dunne. I think that's his name. But anyways, I really like that they separated into 2 things or 2 episodes, so it did feel like one long movie. And it felt like, I've not read the book, so I don't know, but it felt like from when I watched the movie, it felt like they got into a lot more detail. You know a lot more about every single character. I don't know if you have no idea what this is. It's about 3 kids whose parents die in a fire, and they go to their cousin, their like far separated cousins Olaf, and pretty much long story short is they're rich kids, and he treats them like garbage, and all he wants them for is their fortune. and they kind of figure that out, and the series is him trying to get that fortune somehow in kind of a, funny, strange sort of way, and dark too. First 2 episodes, bad beginning. I really liked it. Not that I was unsure, but that's bad thing to say. I really liked it. I was hooked in from the beginning. I wasn't sure on Neil Patrick Harris right away. I think as the series went on, he got better as Olaf. The first thing, what I didn't like about him, I think it was more from a writing standpoint, because I had not seen the movie, so I didn't even know this, but already I did in the movie this happens. I didn't like in the series that the kids go to him and he's kind of right away reveals his cards and he's kind of just shitty right off the bat. Where in the movie, and what I projected in my head that I wanted a bit better, that he's kind of trying to make it seem like he's not being a dick or not being mean or doesn't want the fortune, and then of course it's revealed, which is fine, but I just thought it was like a little right off the bat. I didn't like it. But other than that, I thought he was good. The only 2 things I'd say is I don't like how clean he is. Like, his hair is kind of perfect. Like, I wish he was a bit more dirtier and gross. Like, even his, unibrow kind of feels like it's just, perfectly trimmed and whatever. I didn't like that. And I wish he kind of did a little more of an evil, maniacal voice. And that could definitely be some thing carrying over of seeing Jim Carrey's in the small parts. He had, a deeper kind of scare voice, and he didn't. But, other than that, I like the setup of the episode. I like the setup of the world and the setup of Lemony Snicket and Mr. Poe. Love Mr. Poe. He's probably one of my favorite parts of this whole show. But yeah, I thought it was a pretty good setup. But yeah, I like the first 2 episodes. It set the world. I like that the world building of everyone's kind of very dumb and it goes over everyone's head. I like certain things, like Olaf always kind of making these puns or making these things like, I'm going to kill these kids or yada, yada, yada. I like that. The kids are really good. I like them a lot. All 3 of them. I guess you can count the baby. The baby is the best part of the show, to be honest. I love the baby. I love anytime that baby says something and just it says something or whatever. So if you don't know, the baby will say just a baby noise, but it'll have a subtitle. I like Violet. I like Klaus. They had good chemistry, a good brother-sister bond. They do a lot of bond building throughout the show. I really like that. But yeah, the baby cracks me up and kills me. But yeah, first episode's great. The second 2, I'll just say the bad beginning was great. What was even better was the Reptile Room. The Reptile Room was my favorite. I really liked the whole, like I said, now I'm not going to get into spoiler, but I like certain characters that are introduced, like Uncle Monty. I liked Stefano. Fucking love Stefano. 10 out of 10 for Stefano. Couldn't get enough. This was the first episode was, I'm really enjoying this. I'm really liking. I want to see where this goes. Second episode was when I was officially, if I wasn't, I had a hook in me, and then the hook went deeper. I love the second, or the Reptile Room. I had a good time with it. I love the certain ways of, you think they're going to do a certain humor or kind of certain way to get out of a situation or a certain plot point, and it goes a different way. Obviously, this is nothing new to people that have read the books, but it's very clever thinking. It's very tongue-in-cheek humor. It's very on the nose, and it knows what it is. And there's one thing where I really like, and they do this a couple times throughout the show, so spoiling one line, when they talk about, let's go to a movie, and a certain character says, why would you go to a movie when you could stay home streaming all day and watching everything in a nice bingeable format fashion? Something to the equivalent of that, and the fourth wall breaking. I'm a sucker of that. I'm a big Deadpool fan, so anytime any movie does that, whether it's Ferris Bueller's Day Off or this, just the humor really hit for me, and that was the biggest thing. I like the mystery a lot too, all the mystery angles. I'm so intrigued. When the series ended, I'm like, fuck, I gotta wait a whole year. I really want to know certain things that are going on. But I like the aspect of, there's I'd say the whole show kind of has a whodunit sort of aspect to it. So I liked that, but the humor is what killed it for me. And the characters, to be honest, I love most of the characters that were introduced. There's a few that I'll talk about quickly and as non-spoiler as I can. What was the thing? And this was what I was going to say. If you know the movie, if you've seen the books, if not, sorry, this is a minor spoiler. But, so this is why Olaf, for me, it was, when I've watched the movie, and the movie to me is not that good, but Carrie is really good as Olaf, and Neil Patrick Harris, for me, they're kind of tied because they do different things. I think Carrie's really good at having a presence, and kind of, like I said, the overall character being a bit more dirty and a bit more nuanced, and he comes off a bit more scarier, where Neil Patrick Harris, Olaf, kind of comes off as a loser and pathetic, which is good too, so it's kind of a different take, so I get that. The thing that I thought, which I don't like about Carrie, is he kind of gets into his impromptu comedy or improv, and you can tell when it's Carrieisms are kind of you roll your eyes. With him, he does that a little bit, but the thing that I knew going into the series, because I knew enough about it, that what he was going to kill us. He was doing great as Olaf, but I knew he was going to kill us when he takes the personalities of other people. For minor spoilers, he's always in disguise, or he's trying to figure out certain ways to get the broders, I think that's how you say them, the kids. So he's always under disguises. I won't get into them, but NPH Neil Patrick Harris does that great, and I was happy he was cast because I knew he could do that. I was looking forward to that, and that's why I think he's a perfect guy. I think his Olaf got very good near the end of the series. At the beginning, you can tell it's just finding his footing, so I'm excited for the next season to see how much better he is already after he is, because he has a sense of the character, and I liked it more and more as it went on, but every time he was a certain character, knocked it out of the park. Reptile Room was my favorite. I just thought it had the best pacing. It was the best mix of the comedy and the mystery and the fun performances. And the kids are actually good too, because I find that some of the kid actors in movies that are about kids or TV shows about kids, the kids are so fucking bland and you don't care about them, like Jurassic World. You care about the kids, they're good. I don't know, I haven't looked at their IMDb, I'm not sure where they find these actors and actresses, but they knocked it out of the park with casting. They did a great job. The guest castings are really good. So yeah, Reptile Room was my favorite out of the whole bunch. The Wide Window. I really, really enjoyed this one. This one's my... I don't know. I'm going to watch it again because honestly, I don't know why. Just this movie just kind of kicked me out of the ass out of nowhere. I was interested in it. I really ended up liking this. I know it's going to sound bad. I'll never read the books. I might audiobook it, but I just don't have time. I read comic books. I like my pictures. I get kind of bored of books. I'm like, whatever. And then there's the TV version. I'm like, oh, I'll watch that. Yes. But it got me interested in the world. It very much reminded me of the book I did read as a kid, the Time Warp Trio. Loved that. Loved it so much. I just found there was an animated series, 24 episodes. They look cheesy, but I'm going to watch them. But I like kid adventures that have this mystical sort of over-the-top world. It's very much like a kind of Charlie's Chocolate Factory as well. It's a very heightened sense of reality, and I liked that a lot. This gets a lot more into that, but that's why I have to say that I think 1 and 3 are tied. I like them for different reasons. This one is a lot more darker, which I liked. So I gotta watch them both, but they're tied. Spoilers for what's last, I guess. But, and this is what I was gonna call out in, like I said, I don't want to go into few spoilers of the actual what happens in the episode. But Aunt Josephine, I love that actress too. She was great in Luke Cage. Great in Desperate Housewives, where I saw her originally. I think Alfre Woodard. I think that's how you say her name. She was really good, and she did what she was instructed well. I found that character maybe a bit too over the top. This is coming from a guy who's not read the books. Could be a perfect adaptation. But for me, it was just a bit too over the top, and the whole world is over the top, but to the point where it wasn't annoying, but it maybe got close at certain times. It was kind of like, okay, I get the shtick, and I don't know, and that's the only thing I prefer in the movie, and people are going to say, oh, it's because it's Meryl Streep. Yeah, she is, possibly the best actress of all time. So that could be it, but even just the way the character was written in there was just a bit more nuanced, where this was really kind of hitting over the head of you understand what this character is, you get what this character is, you get it, do you get it? So that was my only one little problem on that, so that maybe brought it down a little bit, but I really like the darkness, I really like the twists and turns, and I love how how Olaf pops up in these, and I like his little gang of people. I love those fucking old ladies that are twins, they're awesome. I really fell in love with this world, it did feel like old Tim Burton, and that was great. Last episode, The Miserable Meal, this was my least favorite. I still liked it a lot, especially I liked part 2 a lot more. 2 things, a character thing, minor spoiler if you don't want to know a certain bigger celebrity that's going to be in here. Don Johnson is in this. He's pretty much just playing the fucking Colonel from Django Unchained, and that took me out of it. Not in the sense that I thought with Django, but I'm just I just seen him do this a few years ago. Couldn't have got someone else, and Don Johnson, I like Don Johnson enough, but it didn't feel right. The whole episode was good, or the whole Miserable Mills saga was good, but it just felt like something. It felt, I think maybe a pacing thing. It felt a little slow at times. I didn't really care too much. This was probably my least favorite out of the disguises Olaf uses. Kind of the ploy to get them was meh. It was still fun. It was still good. Part 2 was really good because that had a lot more of the mystery aspect, and we learned a lot more about the Broders and their past and their family's past and what their parents were into and this and that. So I really liked that. Yeah, I thought I was gonna do some spoilery stuff, but I don't actually want to do that. I think it's a really fun series. It's really great. If you like those things that I laid out, you're going to like this. This is a great thing you can watch with your family, whether you got kids or siblings or whatnot. It's lots of fun. Acting's great. The actual cinematography and just what they do with the actual world is great. The score is really good. Like, it hits it on all fronts, really. My only issues with it sometimes are a little bit of pacing issues. Like I said, maybe a few like character things. But yeah, I really enjoy this. I'm giving this an 8.5. Not quite a 9 because I think it can be a little better and a little tighter. Even the first episode felt like a little weird pacing sometimes, but I really enjoyed it. I didn't have too much negatives. And right when it was finished, I wanted to watch it again. I really fell in love with the world. So give it a chance. I know I said, oh, if you like these things, that means you should watch, but give it a chance. Watch one episode. And that's what I like that these, I think it was the way that they divided it. If they wouldn't have divided it this way, they even could have not even had the part 1, part 2, and mentally I maybe wouldn't even liked it. But I liked that how I watched them over the weekend was in kind of movies. I watched, okay, I'm going to watch The Bad Beginning. I watched that, and then I watched the Reptile Room. Those were the two. And then I watched The Wide Window another day, and then I watched Miserable Meal a different day. And I really liked the way it was like a nice kind of meal way. Like, oh, I'm finished, and then I can do this. I'm finished, I can do this. So I really enjoyed it. I really liked it. Like, I liked it a lot more than I was expecting. Costumes are great. Like, it had a movie quality to it, and it sounds like it's very successful. I heard it's like number 4 in their ratings on Netflix since they've been doing like premiere ratings. So I'm really happy it's coming back. I cannot wait for season 2. I cannot wait for season 3 because that's what they said they're going to announce the way they do it. But yeah, give this a shot. It's lots of fun. It's a good time. It's just, yeah, it's just fun. It's just engaging in a different sort of way that I haven't felt, like I said, since Addams Family Movie, since Tim Burton. Great satire, great different. It's very unique, and I think that's one thing that makes Netflix very strong. And one thing we need is unique stuff, and Netflix just knows their audience, and they know, hey, we got this. We got action. We got comedies. We got dramas. We need this kind of like family fun little pocket. Like, this feels like a cult kind of movie or cult like kind of TV show, and it just works perfectly. Shout out to all the cast and crew. You guys did phenomenal on this. I really enjoyed this. I couldn't talk enough about it, but I'm not gonna because then I begin into spoilers, and I don't want to get into that. I thought I would, but you know what? Go enjoy it. That's what GeekVerse Thought Bubbles here. I'm not here to spoil too much. I want people to enjoy. And you know what else you can enjoy? The GeekVerse podcast, whether it's on iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube, Twitch, the whole shebang. Please subscribe, like, rate us. Do those things. If you like what we do here, our podcast, those things help us out big time a lot, and it helps us, check Taylor in line. He likes to yell, and he threatens to hit us by saying, oh, look, like someone liked our YouTube video. He's like, good. Like, he's a scrawny little guy, so I could take him, but I don't want to hurt him. I don't want to put him in that situation where I have to hurt him. So thank you very much for tuning in. Check out the GeekVerse Gauntlet. That's lots of fun. It's a game and movie trivia tournament. Multi-week, point-based tournament. Lots of fun. We're crowning a champion at the end of this tournament. Hope people are liking it so far. I've heard lots of good feedback, so I think we could be starting up a league, but either we're going to have a champion and some rankings, so it's fun. Check out my Logan and Power Rangers reaction review and the Switch panel review. There's been so much. For January, it's been a busy month. I cannot wait for what's next on the GeekVerse Thought Bubbles. Thank you very much for tuning in. I promise you, it'll not be boring. Look away, look away. Great song.